We bop and pretty hot, I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and pretty hot, I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care. We bop and pretty hot, I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and pretty hot, I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care.
Buddy, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining us on the live stream today, where we're going to be talking about green screen background replacement. How I'm going to show you how the new, or not the new, but the green screen feature here on Zenfolio is now mobile friendly, something I hope a lot of you guys are going to be excited about. So we're going to go through some things on the green screen feature. I'm going to show you a quick extraction in Photoshop, kind of show you how I use Photoshop to do background and green screen extractions. It's going to be a really quick one, not a really detailed one, but a really quick one. We're going to talk about exporting and uploading transparent PNG files. I'm going to show you how you can do that in your Zenfolio account. Show you how to add background options. Then we're going to look at the client view on the desktop, and then we're going to finish up with looking at the client view on the mobile version as well. So really cool stuff, super excited. If this is your first time hanging out with us, make sure you say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're from. As you guys saw, I was showing some preview images there. If you want your, if you have an image that you'd like to be featured on the intro to either Zenfolio Live or Site Review Tuesday, just post it to Instagram and use hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for that image to be featured. All right, hanging out with me today, taking care of you guys in both Zoom and out on YouTube, I've got Dennis, so make sure you guys show him some love. He does an awesome job hanging out with us on Zenfolio Live, taking care of you guys and answering questions, and I really appreciate him taking the time to jump on here and help me out last minute because Richard is out today. And it was today Richard's day to moderate. I totally forgot, and I messaged Dennis like 2 minutes ago, and he was like, yeah, man, I got you. So I really appreciate Dennis jumping on here and helping me out. Let's see. Let me shout out to some of you guys hanging out with us on Zoom. We've got Attila, Angie, Brandy, Carolyn Cummins, Daryl, Derek, Eduardo, Helene, Jacob, James, Jim, Kathleen, Laura, and Laura, two Lauras. Lloyd, Larian, Monica, Michael, Robert, a lot of you guys hanging out with us on Zoom. Thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. Out on YouTube, we've got, let's see, Sharks408, Amy, Kathleen, and Brenda, 410 Aerial Photography and Inspection, and Dave Patrick saying hi from Mobile, Alabama. So thank you guys for jumping on here and hanging out with us. Some quick announcements really quick. Next week on Zenfolio Live, we're going to talk about photo philanthropy. If I had to say it right. using your camera for good. So we're going to do an interview with a friend of mine, Lisa Nalvin, who's a big photo philanthropist. She does some amazing work, and we're going to talk about ways that you can use your photography to make the world a better place, because she does a lot of that, and she's got some really cool stuff to share. I know I announced this last week, but don't forget you can sign up to get live stream email reminders. The link to do that, if you're watching on YouTube, should be in the description below this video. So make sure that you guys go check that out. That will give you email reminders, and then it's up to you whether you want to join us on Zoom or if you want to jump over on YouTube and watch us live, but at least you'll get the email reminders. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, go check out the Zenfolio community events. That link's right there. And then, as I said, if you would like to have your images possibly featured in the intros or maybe on some of our social media channels, post them to Instagram and use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance to have your images featured on either our social media or on the preview issues like that. Big shout out to you guys who have done that already. Thank you so much for submitting your images. Okay, guys, as we go through this, if you have questions, please let me know. Get those in the chat so we can get those answered for you live, whether you're watching on Zoom or you're watching on YouTube. Make sure that you get your questions in the chat. Dennis is going to be grabbing those questions, sending them over to me, and we're going to be answering those questions as we go live. It can be on the topic of green screen or not. So totally up to you guys. The questions that you ask, get them in the chat. Dennis is going to get them over to me, and we're going to go ahead and just get started here. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to jump into Photoshop and just show you guys a quick extraction method that I use. Now there's lots of different ways to do extractions for green screen, and you can also do extractions not on green screen as well, and that's actually what I'm going to show you guys. And to kind of circle back, let's talk about green screen for a second. Right now, with everything that's going on, there are so many reasons to be shooting on green screen for like school and sports and things like that, right? Crowd control, social distancing, all of that kind of stuff. And maybe you guys are already doing some of that. Maybe green screen is something that you're looking at doing. Then this video is definitely going to help you show how to use green screen through Zenfolio. Okay. And like I said, if you're doing schools, you're doing sports, you're doing things like that, a lot of times that has changed now from being able to go out to a game, get everybody to come and do their individual photo and then get everybody to do a group photo. A lot of times now you're having to do composites of those group photos, and shooting on green screen is going to help with that as well. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you guys a quick extraction method in Photoshop. So if you've never played around with this, I'm going to show you quickly how I do extractions. I am not like an Aaron Neese or anything like that. So I am not like a professional photo editor. I'm fairly decent at Photoshop, but there's definitely lots of great tutorials that you can check out on YouTube as well. I just want to show you the quick way that I do this, and you guys can see this method will work pretty well even if the photo wasn't shot on green screen. Now I did pick this photo out particularly because it's going to be fairly easy to extract, but I just want to show you guys this quick method really quick. And so what I like to do is I like to use the subject extract tool in Photoshop. Now I don't know if this is available on all of the versions of Photoshop. I do know that this is something that is in CC, so I'm on Photoshop CC, and this is how I do the extractions. So usually what I do, anytime I'm working with anything in Photoshop, I'll come and duplicate the main layer first, just because I like to do like non-destructive methods, and so I always like to have that layer copied just in case I want to go back really quickly. I know there's lots of different ways to do it. Let me get my video out of the way. There we go. But what I like to do is just come up here really quick and do a Command J. So I'm just going to do a Command J right here, duplicate that layer really quick. And then what I'm going to do is click on that layer, jump right up here to the select menu item. I think it's the better word for it. And then there's an option right here where you can do select subject. Now there's color range, there's focus area. Different images might require you to use different tools. Usually I start out with this select subject, and for most of the images I have found it works pretty well. So really cool tool to use. You can just go right here and hit select subject, and it is going to basically analyze the image and kind of try to do a quick selection of the subject right here. So as you can see, like without me having to do like a manual selection, that's pretty close as far as the selection goes. And then typically what I'll do is I'll just come over on the layer and then go down and make that a layer mask like this. So now that selection's been masked out. And I know you can't tell. Again, it's because it's setting over that background layer. I do that for having that background layer to jump back onto. So what I do secondly to kind of make sure that that extraction's nice is I'll click on the background layer and just throw in a quick solid color layer. Usually I'll try to do something that's really easy to see mistakes. So you can kind of play around with the color, something that's really contrasty to what's there already. And as you can see, if I go black, we don't see a lot of stuff. As I go white, we don't see a lot of stuff. But when I go gray, if you look really close to the hair right in here, you can kind of see a little bit of halo effect right there. And so that is why I do this color layer, is so I can kind of see what I need to kind of work on a little bit. And then the way that I work on that is with the mask tool, actually. So I just double click on the mask tool right here. It opens up this little, I forget what you call this, but it opens up this little window right here. And then in this section, you can play around with all of these different tools. There's not really a set standard way to do this, at least that I know of. This, it kind of takes a little bit of playing around with, but again, it's super easy to use. So if I just kind of zoom in here a little bit, we're really focusing on kind of these trouble areas right here. And if I'm going to go down here, I'm just going to start with this smart radius, kind of turn that on. You'll start to notice the mask kind of evolve, and some of those areas might start going away. And then if I still see issues, like we have some areas here, typically what I'll do is come down here and start playing with the global refinement options right here. So Shift Edge is a nice one to use. You can tighten up the mask or you can spread it back out. And a lot of times if the image is pretty well separated from the background from the get-go anyway, you can use this Shift Edge to really get rid of a lot of your trouble spots. So as you see, when I'm shifting that edge, it's really getting rid of a lot of the issues that I had here. And then I'm going to kind of just use this smooth tool to kind of smooth it out. Sometimes that Shift Edge makes things a little like choppy looking, and you can use this to kind of smooth your edges a little bit. And then the contrast one will really kind of define the separation. So I'm just going to kind of bump that up a little bit. And overall, I mean, for a few minutes on this, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's some areas over here that we could work on. But again, I just wanted to show you guys this quick method that I use. And then we're going to hit OK right here. And that's basically going to update that mask to match what we wanted it to be right there. So now if I zoom out really quick, all right, this is what my image is looking like. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this exported out as a transparent PNG file to put into Zenfolio to use for the background tool. So what I'm going to do is just turn off the background layer, turn off the color fill layer. We're left with this. And then I'm going to kind of crop this the way that I would want this to be cropped if I was kind of doing this you know, as a portrait image or something like that. Maybe get the third line there kind of on our eyes a little bit. And now we've cropped that in, and then all we need to do is export this. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can export it depending on the version of Photoshop that you're using. So if you're using an older version of Photoshop, you might have to use the export for web or save for web option. And that option is you just go to File right up here, and then you're going to go to Export, and it's going to say Save for Web down here somewhere. Okay, and I'm going to show you this version first really quick, just because it does have a few more steps. So you're going to go Save for Web, and then what you're looking for is you're looking for this little dialog box that popped up way over here. Let me get this. Oops, grabbing the wrong window there. There we go. You're going to get this little dialog box that popped up right here. Let me see if I can't resize this. I guess that's as small as I can make it. Okay, so this dialog box right now, what it's set up to do is it's set up to export as a GIF. And we don't want this to be exported as a GIF. We want this to be a PNG with transparency. So we're going to click right here. We're going to go to PNG 24, not 8, but we want 24. And then you're going to make sure that when you select that option, it looks like my computer is having to think about this, but there's a little option that you need to check that says with transparency. So you're going to make sure that you select that option. Now, it looks like my computer is arguing with me about doing this, so we might have to just jump back out of this. Give me a second. Let's see if it's going to play along. Anybody else having technical issues this week, or has it just been me and my computer? My computer seems to be crazy this week. Okay, so we're going to make sure that that little transparency option is checked, and then we're just going to go down to the bottom. You guys can't see it, but there's a little save button, and you would save it and then determine wherever you want to save that PNG file to. So that's one way that you could do it. If you have newer versions of Photoshop like CC or something like that, then there's also the quick export PNG option, and that's going to be found if you again, if you go up to, let me get this out of the way here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but up here, if you go to File, then you can go to Export and just do a quick export as PNG. I think you do need to check the options and make sure that your PNG has transparency cut out. I don't remember where that setting is, but you just want to make sure. So I'm going to say Demo Cut Out. Okay, right here. And I'm just going to save that on my computer. Okay, all right, now we're going to get back into Photoshop, or not Photoshop, we're going to get back into Zenfolio, and I'm going to show you how to upload this and get the green screen feature set up. So one key thing that I do want to point out here, you guys, is that Zenfolio does not do the cutouts for you or the extractions for you. You do need to upload your images already cut out as transparent PNG files. So really important to know, you do need to go ahead and have those images already cut out. Now, the methods that I just showed you are really great if you're doing, some small level extraction, if you're not doing like volume jobs where you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images. In the case of that, where you're doing volume photography, maybe you have hundreds, if not thousands of extractions to do, you might want to look at utilizing a third party to do those extractions for you. But if you are, used to handling everything yourself, and if you're just doing a few studio shoots here and there, you can definitely do your own extraction through Photoshop using that method or one of the many methods that are available out there. But I just wanted to show you that really quick. All right, let me get into my Zenfolio account, and we're going to go ahead and get this uploaded. So give me 1 second. Let me get my Zenfolio account here. I'm going to go ahead and just close Photoshop because we're done in Photoshop. And let's get into my Zenfolio account really quick here. All right. Okay, so here we are on my Zenfolio account, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this uploaded. Now, before I show you how to upload this, there's a thing that you want to look at, okay? If you have an older version of Zenfolio, there's an option that you're probably going to want to go check, and I'm going to show you where this is in a second. But basically, whenever you upload PNG files with that transparency and cutout, you have to enable them as cutouts in Zenfolio. Now I'm going to show you how to set it up so that that happens by default every single time you upload a PNG file with transparency. It automatically enables it as a cutout. Now if you have a newer Zenfolio account, if you've created your account within like the last year or so, then this option should already be there checked for you by default, but it's not a bad idea to go ahead and go check. So in your Zenfolio account, what you're going to do is you're going to hover over your account name, which is kind of hiding right up here behind my head. So let me get myself out of the way really quick. You're going to go right up here, hover over your account name right here, and then you're going to click on account. And then the setting that you're looking for is right here on the left-hand side. It says upload settings. You're going to click right on that, okay? Now, once you have clicked on that, you're going to see a couple of options. You just want to make sure that automatically enable PNGs as green screen cutouts has been selected. Okay, so that's the option that you're looking for. Now, while you're here, go ahead and make sure that it is also set to automatically copy your file names as the photo titles. Super, super useful if you do client proofing and you need the client to be able to reference your specific file names. If you guys are on the phone talking about their gallery, this will take your file names and make them the photo titles. Super useful for client proofing. Quick side note though. But again, this is the option that you're looking for to make sure that this is checked. So it's checked for me. We're all good to go. We're going to go to Photos. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and upload this image really quick. So we're going to go down here and let's go to this green screen demo gallery. So I'm just going to click on that. And what I'm going to do really quick is actually duplicate this tab. So let's duplicate this tab because I'm using a lot of bandwidth right now streaming, and I don't think we want to sit here and wait for my image to upload just in case it takes a long time because of the bandwidth that I'm using live streaming. So we're going to go in this new tab here. We're going to go to that gallery, the green screen demo gallery right here. Once we're in there, I'm going to hit upload, and that's just a gallery that I created. You could pretty much upload this anywhere you want to upload this. Now, as some of you guys are saying, you might not be seeing the green screen option. That is something that I should have mentioned at the beginning. This is an option, I believe, that is only available to the advanced plan. I'm going to double check and make sure. It might be available in the Pro, but I do believe it is currently only available on the advanced plan, but I'll clarify that here in just a second. Okay, so again, we're going to go here and we're going to click on upload, and we're going to go ahead and upload that cutout. So I'm going to click on add photos and videos. That's going to pull this little window up. I'm going to select that cutout. Again, super important that we had the background layers turned off, that we're selecting the right file with all of the background cut out. Usually you can tell because this is the original image. You can see the background. This is the PNG file. First of all, you can see the file extension, but you can also tell that the background's white, which usually means that it's cut out. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. And then all you need to do is upload this. Now there's this little option here that says assign as a green screen cutout. You don't need to worry about that option because we've already enabled that by default automatically. So you don't need to worry about that option at all. We've already enabled that previously. So we're just going to go ahead and get this uploaded. And as you guys can see, that's a fairly large file. I mean, it's not a giant file, but it's a fairly large file. So while this is uploading, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the background option. So I'm just kind of jumping over, letting this upload, jumping back in this previous tab. Well, it's almost done. It's almost done. We'll just stay here. Give it like a few seconds. There we go. Okay. So just to show you guys what happened, that uploaded that image as a transparent PNG file. Here it is right here. And you can kind of see all of these images are white. That's because these are all PNG cutouts. Okay, so now we have some PNG cutouts uploaded into Zenfolio. Let's talk about adding some green screen background options. This is where you really get to look at how cool this feature is. You get to see a lot of the benefits of letting your client choose different backgrounds. You can actually upcharge for custom backgrounds. Lots of cool things in here. So this is a really cool feature. If you guys haven't played around with it yet, you definitely need to check it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to actually look at some background options. So what you're going to be looking for is this little background section right here. We're going to click on this, and this is going to show us the backgrounds that I've already uploaded in here. Now, there's lots of different places to get digital backgrounds. You can go to stock photo websites. You can go to all kinds of places. You can purchase them from other photographers. You can take some background images yourself. There's lots of resources out there for you. And in Zenfolio, you are allowed to upload up to 100 different backgrounds. Now, we do have some default backgrounds in there for you that you can use, but you're also allowed to upload your own custom ones as well. You can actually upload up to 25 backgrounds at a time. Now, when you click this add new background, it's going to give you some information right here. Right here it says for best results, upload images sized for a 2800 by 2600 photo. Okay, now I want to clarify what that says. It says upload images sized for a 28 by 2600 photo. That doesn't mean that the background has to be or is 2800 by 2600. It means that you need to open up a photo, put a subject in that photo really quick, and then scale your background and size it how you would want to appear in that photo. Okay, so making sure that that background image is set to work for a photo that's large. That's what that means. All right. Now here are some Zenfolio backgrounds you can use, or if you want to upload your own, you just click right here, hit browse, it's going to pull up the little drop down, and then you can go find your background images, and if you can upload 25 at a time. So you can just kind of do a quick mass selection and upload them like that. Now I'm not going to upload these, obviously they're not all background images, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do that part of it, okay? So you can kind of just select everything like this and then hit open and it would upload those. Now I already have some background images uploaded, so let's go in here and talk about that. The first thing that you want to know of is that you can set a global default background, okay? And what a global default background means is that that's going to become the default background for all of your transparent PNG files. You can modify per gallery per group, but this is kind of the global setting that you can set up while you're here. So let's say that you want to make sure that all of the images load up with just a white background. You can upload a white background or whichever one you want. So you can say, okay, click on this one, and I want that background to be my default. Now I'm not going to do that because I've already selected the white background as the default, but you could do that. So you can set a certain background as a default. Now, another thing that's really cool in here that I'm not going to spend too much time with, but I do want to show you this. You have the option of upcharging for backgrounds. So if you go out and you spend some money and you buy a really cool premium background, or maybe you take some time and actually design a background for your specific clients. Maybe you're working with a specific school or a sports league or something like that, and you want to take the time to actually go in and design something specifically for them. You can upload it, and then you can actually add in an extra charge or an extra fee on that particular background. So let's just pretend like, I don't know, let's pretend like this is a, let me find a background to use. Let's pretend like this background right here is something really cool that I customized and I wanted to charge a little bit more when my clients use that background. So you can click on the image and then you'll see this little window over here that pops up on the right, and there'll be a price right here. Now, I've already set a $5 price for this background. Typically, if you haven't done that, you'll just see 0. And all you need to do is click on the price, and then you can go in and add a dollar amount price for that background. So you can upcharge your clients for the background. And that's how it works, okay? So you can put in whatever price you want here. You can make some free. You can charge a couple of dollars for each option. It's totally up to you. Lots of cool uses for this, you guys. Again, custom backgrounds, backgrounds that you've purchased. Think about holiday seasons, adding holiday backgrounds to where maybe the mother or the father, or maybe you do school and you shot some really nice school portraits on green screen, and rather than parents having to go and do a holiday shoot, especially with all the social distancing going on, you uploaded some holiday themed backgrounds in there that they could then purchase their photos on, either as greeting cards or something like that. So lots of really cool uses for this feature. Now, to clarify the question I saw earlier, green screen is only available to the advanced or high volume users. So if you have to have an advanced plan or a high volume plan to get this feature. If you're interested in this feature and you don't currently have it, definitely hit the chat icon right here. Reach out to our amazing support team. They can definitely talk to you about your upgrade options because it is a really cool feature to have. Okay. And guys, keep throwing your questions in the chat. I'm gonna wrap this up here a little bit, and then we're gonna jump back and just go right into live Q&A and start answering your guys' questions. So if you have questions, I'm not ignoring you. I promise. Keep them coming in the chat, and we're gonna get those answered for you guys. Okay, so now that we've kind of set up the backgrounds in here, and I kind of showed you these different options, the next thing that you want to do is you want to go set up the background options that are available in a specific gallery. So I know you might be wondering like, well, why would I want to do that? Well, let's say again, if you photograph schools or sports, you might create custom backgrounds for a specific school or for a specific sports league. And it really doesn't make sense to have all of those custom backgrounds available for everybody. Basically, not everybody's going to want to go on there, click the change background button, which you guys will see in a second, and see backgrounds that you designed or purchased for other schools or other sports teams, right? That would be a little weird. It would also make the experience less relevant to that particular client. And so you can actually set the background options that are available to your clients up on a gallery by gallery level. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go down to the green screen demo gallery. And you can set this up on a gallery level, or you can even set it up on a group level. So if you photograph schools or sports, and maybe you create a folder for the school, you can actually go set up the background options on that folder so that you don't have to do it on each individual gallery that you upload into that folder or group. But I'm going to show you how to do it on a gallery level. So we're going to click on the green screen demo gallery. And what we're going to do is just go to this little access option right here. And then you're going to be looking for the green screen option over on the left-hand side. So you're going to click on this. And then the first thing that you're going to do is select each of the backgrounds that you want to be available to the clients in this. Now, even though you can have up to 100 backgrounds uploaded into your account, on a gallery level, you can only make 50 backgrounds available to your clients. That's a good thing, because if you think about clients having to browse through 100 different backgrounds, probably not what they want to do and probably not what you wanted them to do. Most of the time, I usually try to keep it down to like 10, maybe 10, and 10's a lot of options. Maybe 5. You definitely want to limit this just like you do with your price list. Make sure that you're very strategic with picking out the backgrounds that are available. Also, too, again, making certain backgrounds not available provides you with the opportunity of making them available at a later date. And what I mean by that is that maybe you don't need to make those holiday backgrounds available now because you want to create a reason to get clients to come back into these galleries later on down the road and hopefully purchase more photos. And making those holiday backgrounds available later on is kind of a reason that you can do or use to have them come back in later on. Now the holiday backgrounds are available. You can re-email everybody, get them to come back into the galleries. So something to think about. Be very strategic with this stuff. Okay, so all you're going to do to select a background is you're going to click on it. Now, I already have 10 selected, as you can see. So basically, you're just going to click on it, and you'll see the number go up, and you'll kind of see this blue highlight go around it. Now, if you want to remove one, you just simply click on it again, and you'll see it be removed. So after you've selected the backgrounds that you want, you're going to click Next. And then the next option is you're going to choose the default background for this particular gallery. Now, it could just be that you use the same default that you set up earlier, or if you wanted to change it, you could change it for just this gallery. I'm, however, going to leave it on this white. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on this white one. I'm going to click Done. That is going to save that, and then we're just going to click Save right down here at the bottom. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to want to make sure that you have a price list applied to this. All right, very, very important. Your clients will not be able to see the change background button if you do not have a price list applied and if Quick Shop is not enabled. Okay, so you need to make sure that Quick Shop is enabled and that you have a price list applied on the gallery in order for that change background button to be there. Okay, so that is what we're going to do really quick is we're going to take a look at this from the client's perspective on the desktop, and then I'm going to show you what this looks like from the client's perspective on a mobile device as well. Now, I tried to figure out a way to get my mobile phone to live stream to my screen, and I ran out of time today, but luckily I did get to make a video of this. So I'm going to show you a recording of my phone and how it works on mobile, okay? But first we're going to look at it from just the normal desktop view so you can see what this looks like to a client on the desktop view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Access. We'll go to Sharing, and I'm going to copy the client link right here. Now, I could just hit Preview, right up here, I could just hit preview, but I do like to encourage you guys to make sure that you're always testing your galleries from a client's perspective. And the only way that you can truly see a gallery from a client's perspective is by viewing it logged out of your Zenfolio account. I don't like logging out of things. I never remember my password. And so that's why I'm showing you how to do what I just did. So I got the direct client link to this gallery. And then I'm using Google Chrome. So I'm going to go to a new incognito window really quick. You can get there by doing like Shift Command N. If you're not on Google Chrome, if you're in Safari, Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Firefox, it's going to be like a new private window or private session or something like that. Okay, now that I have that window open, I'm going to go ahead and just paste in that client link. And we're going to be looking at this gallery just like a client would see it. So if this gallery was password protected, I would actually have to enter the client password to gain access to this gallery. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on an image. All right. And all we're looking for is the little change background button right here. So right now we're looking at this image on the default white background. But then when I click change background, all of the background options that I made available for this gallery appear. And you'll notice that if we put an upcharge on that background, that it actually appears here as well. So your clients can see that if they choose this background, it's going to cost them an extra $5. Now, the cool thing about this is that your clients can view these background swaps in real time. So when I choose this image, I get to see what that image looks like on that background. And then I can add that to my cart. And the cool thing is, as well, is they can purchase the same image on multiple backgrounds. All right, so I can come back here. I can say, okay, let me add this image as a 4x6 print to my cart. And then let's go back and let's swap the background out to see what it looks like on this. Not a fan of that one. Let's try a gray background. Okay, not a gray background. A little bit lacking on my extraction job up at the top. Let's go with this one right here. All right, and then I can just add this image again as a separate print in my cart. All right, so that is what this looks like on desktop view. Okay, this is what your clients are going to see. That's how that change background button is going to work. Again, you have to have the quick shop enabled for them to get access to the change background option right here. So now that I've showed you guys that, what I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to jump back into this window, and I'm going to show you guys really quickly what this looks like on the mobile version as well. So let me get back to my slides here, and I'm going to show you guys what this looks like on mobile. All right, so here we are on my phone, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. So just like on the desktop version, you click on an image and you hit change background. Now, if you've added an upcharge for any of the backgrounds, your clients are going to see it right here, just like they see on the desktop view. Once they have selected a background, just like on the desktop version, they'll be able to see that change in real time. And then all they need to do to buy that image is click the cart button, select buy, and then choose the products that they want, and then click add to cart. I'm going to go back and show you guys this one more time on another image really quick. So you just click on the image, hit that change background button, select the background that they want, and then again, they'll be able to view it in real time. So again, if we change it to something else, we can see it right here. While we're on the mobile view, if you're using BookMe, I just want to show you really quick what the BookMe mobile interface looks like. It's pretty clean. It works really nice on mobile. All of the information is right here. So really quickly, this is just how the BookMe interface looks on mobile. All right, you guys, and that is how it works on the mobile. So I know a lot of us are super excited that that functionality is now available to our visitors and clients on mobile. It's really nice. A couple of other things to think about, and then I'm going to take a quick break and have Dennis come on here and talk to you guys for a second. But one of the things to think about is if you're a landscape photographer, you can use your landscape images as backgrounds. And then if you want to create some like inspirational quotes, you can upload those as transparent PNGs, and then people can actually purchase those inspirational quotes and pick the image of yours that they want as the background. So something to think about, right? Don't just leave this feature in the realm of school and sports and the occasional time that you might shoot on green screen. There's lots of different uses that you can use this for. Think of it as a way to work within, to allow your clients to order things that are layered. Now, it's only a top layer and a bottom layer, but it's something to think about. So again, going back to if you're a landscape photographer, right, and you want to maybe sell some of your images as prints, you can upload your images, your landscape photos as background images, and then go and create some inspirational quotes, upload those as transparent PNG files, and then you could create a whole gallery where people could come in and purchase your images with inspirational quotes on them or whatever you wanted to put over there. All right, so something to think about. I'm going to have Dennis jump on here really quick. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to grab some coffee or some tea. I think I have coffee today, but I'm going to have Dennis jump on here really quick and talk to you guys, and I'll be back. Make sure that you keep getting your questions in the chat so that I can get those answered for you guys live. So let me see if we got Dennis. Let's see. Let's get
I'm here.
All right. Can you turn your video on, or is it?
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Cool. I just can't see
Hello,
on my
everyone.
screen.
I haven't checked my lighting.
You're good. All right. I'm going to hop off. I'll let you grab it for a second, Dennis.
Go for it, Robert. Thank you. All right. What's happening here? Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dennis with Zenfolio Customer Success. And again, thank you all for hanging out with us during Thursday, Zenfolio Live. We're happy to take your questions each episode and answer them live. So please let us know if you have anything that we can help you with, any questions at all. So we also learn pretty much each week about new features. We sometimes host special guests and have discussions, a lot of good stuff that can help pretty much with your photography business, allow it to become more successful. So check in with us. We'll be here. And here, let me eat up some more time and give Robert a little opportunity to get some coffee or tea, whatever it will be. But if you're in chat, there is a button there that you can click on and you can submit questions for next week. You can also submit your website for Site Review Tuesdays, which is awesome. And you can follow us, of course, on social media. So it's good stuff for you to check out there in the YouTube chat description. But visit us, zenfolio.com. You'll find all that good information. And subscribe if you'd like to receive an email or have this booked to your calendar. So that way you won't miss us. But yeah, it's lots of good stuff. Thanks for checking us out. Take care, everybody. Robert, you're up.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and helping me out. I really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the live Q&A portion of this. So if you have questions, whether it's about green screen, whether it's about that horrible extraction job that I tried to show you guys earlier, or anything else Zenfolio related, make sure that you go ahead and get your questions in the chat. Dennis is going to be passing those over to me. I'm going to be answering those for you guys. Let me go ahead and get my screen share turned on really quick. What are you guys up to this week? How's everybody's week going? Anybody have anything exciting they'd like to share? Any big shoots or anything going on? Let us know in the chat. Curious to see what you guys are up to. But let me go ahead and get my screen share back up. And we'll just keep rolling through some questions really quick. Let's see. Let me grab this first question here. Let's see. All right. So this first question is from, I'm not sure who it's from, but it says, I'm new to Zenfolio and I'm struggling with designing my site. Can you point me to any cool tutorials that would help me create a great page? So there are definitely lots of video tutorials on Zenfolio on our YouTube channel. what I would go look for, and maybe I can get Dennis to kind of throw this tutorial out in the chat for you guys. I did a whole series. So if you're brand new to Zenfolio, I did a whole series where basically I went in and I started an account from scratch, and every week I kind of set up and designed different parts of my account. So I set up the homepage one week, I set up the portfolio the next week, and then I went into doing price lists and client galleries. That's actually a playlist on our YouTube channel. It's called Creating a Website from Scratch, or I forget what I called it. It's been like a year since I created that one. But that is where I would start. It is live stream recordings. So, you know, if you want to, you can fast forward, pause, go back, all kinds of stuff to kind of navigate quickly through that video to kind of get to the sections of the content that you want to learn about. So again, that's the video tutorial that I would start with. Now, if you're looking to work on a specific area, then I would just go to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search for Zenfolio. If you're hanging out with us on YouTube, like you, Dave Patrick, or Kathleen Riley, you guys are already there. So just go to our channel and just type in whatever it is that you're having issues with, and there's probably going to be a video that pops up that deals specifically with that topic. So if you're working on your homepage, there's probably at least 3 or 4 homepage videos. If you're working on customer galleries, client galleries, I know there's several there. If you're working on portfolios, there's a lot there as well. So there are just tons of video tutorials on the channel. And again, the thing that's great about YouTube videos, right, is you don't have to watch them in real time. You can pause them, fast forward them, you can bookmark them, all kinds of stuff. And if you're watching those and you guys are like, man, okay, so this really got me close, but I feel like I'm missing this one little piece or this little section, leave a comment on the video and let me know. If you guys are like, oh, I love this tutorial, but I would love to see you talk about this a little bit more in depth or something like that, comment on that video and let me know. That way I can get some feedback and I can get some more videos for you guys. Great question though. Let's see here. Let me grab a question from you guys hanging out with us on Zoom. This is from Adam Jones. He says, what are some best practices for selling photos and videos to families at group events? I shoot for ballet performances, little girls, and we sell both stills and edited videos of the whole performance. So Adam, really quickly off the top of my head, I would definitely say you want to sell packages. Put together some package options and things like that. The other thing that you could do as well is that I know in a lot of times when you're in that performance environment, specifically if you're trying to sell kind of the day of, then a lot of times people already have so much going through their head, then the last thing that they really want to do is kind of be forced into making another decision. And so Zenfolio actually lets you do like gift certificates. Now, don't use the gift certificates feature, use the coupons feature. And there's lots of videos on our channel that would explain that. But what I would consider doing is, rather than putting together packages that your clients have to make a decision on right there, maybe put together gift certificate tiers. So rather than saying you've got to decide right now if you want package A, which has 5 8x10s and this and blah, 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 that, or package B, which has this, you could say, you know what, you can just buy a $100 gift certificate, or you could buy a $300 gift certificate, and maybe you want to set it up to where they pay you, and you can kind of tier it out, right? So where they pay you, let's say you say, okay, well, hey, I have a $100 gift certificate. It's today, if you buy it today, it's $75, $80, whatever kind of tier pricing you want to set up. But the cool thing about that is that you can have these gift certificates created beforehand and actually give it to them. And basically you're giving them something where they can then go online to your client galleries, and then they get to pick out what they want. You've already collected the money. They get to pick out what they want, and it goes through our integrated vendors. So that way what you're doing is you're taking a lot of that pressure off of people. You're taking pressure off of having to have a sales team who really has to break down the packages and go through all of that. And you're just saying, hey, you can buy this. Look at the deal you're getting. You're going to get $100 to spend on the site. You're only going to give me $80 today. You're going to get $100. I'm giving you $100 back. Like, this is a no-brainer situation. It's kind of what you want to create. And then they go to your site, however you have that client follow-up set up, but they go there and they have that gift certificate code that they can then spend at their leisure to take their time when they're relaxed. They're not worrying about performances, getting people there on time, all of that, right? All of that stuff, and they can spend it at their leisure in the gallery. So really quickly, just to do that, if you go to selling and you go to coupons and campaigns, if you have an advanced plan, you can actually create bulk coupons. So there's this little feature. Let me go in here really quick. There's this little feature right here. Again, you do have to have the advanced plan to do this, but you can create a coupon campaign of. And so let's say you know that this event or ballet that you're shooting, you're going to have, I don't know, maybe 100 different families. And so maybe you want to give them some options, create some tiered options. You can say, okay, I'm going to create, I don't know, 200 coupons, and we'll just call it ballet A. I'll go down here and the coupon code will say, maybe it's the, I don't know, maybe it's cats. And we're going to make sure that we generate a random string here, not a sequential string, but a random string. Come down here, you're going to discount products by an amount. And let's say this is your $100 gift certificate. So you're going to give them a $100 discount or $100 credit, basically. Come down here, let them use it for anything they want, or you can restrict it to certain product types. And then you're going to make sure that this has a one-time use limit per coupon. Hit save, and that is going to generate 100 or 200 or however many coupon codes I set it up to right here, 200 codes that you can then export into a CSV file, and then you can print them up or however you want to have that on hand. And you could create several different tiers. That's probably what I would look at doing. Hopefully somewhere in there I gave you a little bit of information to kind of get you started on that. Okay, let's see. Let me grab another question from you guys in Zoom, and then I'm going to go back to the other question doc that I have. I got a lot of questions up here. Great questions, you guys. Keep them coming. So this is from Angie on Zoom. She says, custom written inspirational quotes by us. Just checking. We can't use quotes by famous people, etc. due to copyright infringement. Correct? Angie, that is a good question. I unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, am not a legal expert when it comes to those kinds of laws. What I would say to do is if you have a legal team that you work with, if you have somebody who does have, and those laws can be different on your area as well. So I would definitely make sure that you do some research first. I am not 100% sure what the legal requirements are for you to use inspirational quotes as far as if they're coming from like a speech or a book or something like that. You definitely want to do some legal research and find out what the laws are on that. I don't know off the top of my head. I wish that I did. Maybe I need to research that and then do a video on that along with that landscape. Maybe I'll do that. Angie. Great question. Okay, let's see. This is a question over here from, I think it's from YouTube. It says, what third parties do you recommend? So I think that is in reference to doing extractions or green screen cutouts. There are different third parties that you can use that will do those extractions for you in bulk. Some off the top of my head are like 36 Pix. I think there's a company called PixNub that actually does like a Photoshop plugin or something like that. There's also a company called NextGen. Now NextGen kind of has their own system set up, so if you're looking into them, you definitely need to look into their system and how it works and know how it works before you go shoot 1,000 kids and then send them your photos. But those are some that I know off the top of my head. To be honest, I have not got into doing any volume extraction. I've done pretty much all of the extraction on my own through usually what I'll do is I'll create like a Photoshop action that does it for me. And that's typically what I try to do is like a Photoshop action or something myself. But great question. Hopefully I gave you some ideas. Again, I think like 36 Pix or PixNub are some good ones to look at. Is anyone selling calendars? If so, when do you start offering them? That's a great question. I'm going to refer to you guys in chat. What is your answer on that? So for me, when it comes to selling calendars, I definitely think that calendars are great gift items. My wife loves calendars. That's like one of the things I try to make sure I get her once a year. She loves calendars like with owls, or we're big Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings fans, so we get a lot of calendars with stuff like that on it. To be honest, I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? Let me know. Like, I definitely think around the holiday season, maybe even starting a couple of months out now. It just really depends on, are these calendars that you're producing yourself? Like, how much design time do you have putting into them? I do know a couple of people that produce yearly calendars, and usually they try to stay a year ahead just because of all the production time that goes into it. But they're actually going out and doing like a real production kind of shot for every single month, and so they have to stay that far ahead in production. So if you're just taking some of your images that you already have collected through the years, you might not have to spend as much time in production as somebody who's going out and setting up and doing like a production shot for every single month. So it really just depends too on how much work you're going to put into it, and that kind of thing. But definitely, I would say the sooner you can make them available, the better. The real question is when do you really start to hype them up and push them out and market them? That's the real question I'm curious about. Again, what do you guys think in chat? Let's see. Question from, how much time do we have? We got like 7 minutes left. You guys got some good questions today. Let me just, you know what? I'm going to turn off my screen share since I'm not really showing anything. Let me just stop that so that you guys can just kind of see me. There we go. Let's see. From Carolyn in Zoom, she said, I'd like to know better how to incorporate logos on our photos, sizing and positioning of logos. So that's a great question, Carolyn. So it depends. Are you wanting to set up logos to actually remain on your images after they're printed and downloaded? Or are you just talking about watermarks that show on your images whenever they're online but are not actually on the printed product? And it's really hard to give a blanket answer to that because it can seriously vary from image to image, and depending on the subject matter that you're shooting. If you're shooting, even if you're shooting landscape and you shoot a lot of wide landscapes that are, a lot of the subject matter and the foreground and the background are kind of the same, it's still going to be hard to have like a default logo position, because sometimes the visibility of it's going to change depending on the image. So I don't know. Again, that's a question I'm going to defer to you guys on chat. What do you guys think? And again, Carolyn, too, it depends on if you're talking about actual logos that are on your images that are finalized on the printed product, or are you talking about watermarks that protect your images from like screenshotting online. If you're going to do that, I would definitely look into Zenfolio's watermark feature. There's a lot of video tutorials on that. And even that, again, is something that's really hard to give a blanket answer on because so many people have different opinions about it. Some people think the watermark needs to just totally cover the image and deface it so that it can never be used if it was screenshotted, which I understand that point. And then some people like to put it nice and small and neat kind of over in the corner, which then doesn't really do anything as far as protecting your image from screenshotting. So leads you to the point of like, well, why even put a watermark on there if it doesn't do much to deter screenshotting of the image? So there's arguments on both sides of that. Again, I'm going to defer to you guys in chat. What do you guys think? Sizing, watermarks on the images, logos? Let us know. All right. Let's see. Let me grab another question. We got like 6 minutes left. 410 Aerial Photography says, how to position anchor your quotes on a background. Can they be positioned by a customer? Great question. So if you're talking about the green screen feature that I mentioned earlier, the image is going to be anchored, or the quotes are basically going to be anchored like your subject image would be anchored. So basically what you would do is you would open up Photoshop. I think I'm going to have to do a video on this because a lot of people are asking questions about it. So I think, what do you guys think? Should I do a video on this? But what you're going to do is open up Photoshop, and I'm hoping that you do have some kind of standard cropping that you're using, right? Whether you're doing all panoramics or you're doing panoramics and 3:2, but that you're not just freely cropping the images. Because if you're freely cropping the images without thinking about aspect ratio, that could kind of cause a weird issue. So if you are cropping and you're thinking about aspect ratio and your images are either 3:2 or maybe you're using a specific panoramic crop, then what you can do is just open up an image in Photoshop and then go ahead and take that inspirational quote, set it where you would want it to appear on that image, remove the background layer, and then export the that quote as a transparent PNG file. Now, the customer is not going to be able to change the position because you are uploading that quote as a transparent PNG file, just like a subject image. So the customer is not going to be able to change the position of the quote. It's going to be anchored on however you had it set up in that PNG file. But basically what you're letting your customer do is go in and look at different inspirational quotes, click change background, and pick a different landscape or whatever kind of image you do, background image, to be on the back of that. So it's going to maybe take some trial and error. The nice thing is that you can set those background images on a per gallery basis. You know what? Let me double check. You might even be able to do it on a per image basis, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me check on that really quick. Let's see here. Oh, you can. Okay. Or can you? You can. Okay. So I'm going to show you this really quick. Let me just get my screen share back on. So if we go into a gallery and we click on a particular image, let's say that the backgrounds work for all of these quotes really well, but maybe we have this one image that's kind of not working really well like the rest of them are. You can actually click on that image, go to access. You're going to notice that it's going to say photo only access setting. You're going to drop down, uncheck that sync with settings with the gallery, and then you can update the background settings for that particular image right here. So now I can say for that particular image or that particular inspirational quote, I don't want these backgrounds being available. I just want these that are going to work well for that particular quote or whatever. So you have some customization options available that way. Great question, though. Hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit of a place to start, some information, some things to think about, because you could definitely set it on that level. Okay, let's see. What do I got? Like 1 minute left. Let's see. I got one question in the queue. How do we put images? How do we put images up as backgrounds to videos, or when we are live in a screen sharing Zoom session like you are doing here? How do we put images up in the backgrounds of the videos? That's a good question. So if you're on Zoom, Zoom does have a virtual background option. I was actually going to play with it earlier, but Zoom does have a virtual background option. So you can, as long as you have like a nice blue or green screen going on behind you, you have these options. You can actually upload your own custom background options as well. Now, as far as for the screen sharing, all I'm doing is sharing my screen. That's a built-in Zoom tool that lets me kind of share the screen, and then I have my screen over on, I don't know which side it's going to be for you guys, but it's over here for me, and that's how I'm doing all of that stuff. All right, you guys, unfortunately, we are out of time. I do want to say thank you guys so much to everybody who jumped on here, who hung out with us today, spent this last hour with me. Hopefully I gave you guys some good information, gave you guys some things to think about, showed you that new mobile client view of the green screen feature. But let me shout out some of you guys who are hanging out with us: Kathleen Riley, Robert, 410 Aerial Photography, Doug, Dave, Home Phone, Amy. Let's see who else is on here with us on YouTube. Anybody I miss? If I missed your name, I'm sorry. Oh, Sharks408, thank you guys for hanging out with us. And then you guys on Zoom, thanks for joining us and hanging out with us. Where did my participants panel go? There we go, my attendees panel. Angie, Brandy, Carolyn, Daryl, Derek, Eduardo, Helen or Helene, Jacob, Joanna, Kathleen, Laura, Michael, Robert, and Ron, and Susan. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Don't forget, you guys, Site Review Tuesday, every single Tuesday. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. We review 3 websites live. If you guys haven't joined us for that, we have a lot of fun. It's a lot of good information. So make sure that you come back and check that out. And then next week, we're going to be doing a live interview on ZenfolioLive talking about photo philanthropy. So make sure that you come back and hang out with us. Until then, I hope that you guys all have a safe, wonderful weekend. Go out and do something nice for somebody. Go out and encourage somebody. Go out and do some wildlife photography and then upload it to Instagram and use the hashtag Zenfolio Photographers. And who knows, maybe your image will be showing on the next intro of Zenfolio Live. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Go be nice to somebody. Tell somebody something good about themselves. You guys are awesome. And have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again on Tuesday. Take care, everybody.